And this is what I appreciate about God, that much as we are given principles, we are allowed to be ourselves within the perimeters of truth, of the principle that God gives us.
Simplicity, the ultimate sophistication, torn to reveal the beauty of my creator. Linda, on modesty. Linda, on modesty. Embracing modesty.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are finally at the last part of the 3-part series that I termed my journey. So before we carry on, I'll ask for 2 things. One, I'll encourage you guys to watch the 2 previous videos, because that will bring context into today's video. And the second thing is, I would kindly ask you guys to subscribe. Subscribing is free, no charge. Please subscribe to my channel, and please like this video for more content like this. So on today's video, firstly, on the 2 previous videos, I take you guys through my how and where I come from with clothes, my love for clothes, my attitude towards clothes, the transition, the change into dressing modestly, how it took place. And that was the previous video. And on today's video, really, I want to talk about my experience with modest dressing and where I am now. All right, so contrary to how my relationship with God, contrary to how things were prior to the change that I speak about on the previous video, my relationship with where I speak about my relationship with God being an on and off thing, being a space that I move in and out of, a phase that I go through, an aspect of my life and not my life holistically. Yeah, that was, I remember mentioning to you guys how a casual relationship it was. So it was that. Now, contrary to that, I'm now at a point where I in fact have a relationship with God. It's existing, it's real, and truly this is a space that I'm comfortable with. I now understand that God cares about me. I now understand that God cares about the things that I care about the things that bother me, about in fact, He's interested in my life, and He's interested in my whole life, in my life holistically. And really, there's nothing I can keep from Him. I experienced Him to be a friend. I experienced Him to be a father. I now knew that I could actually speak to God about anything and everything, really. And this for me was comforting to know. I was happy to be at this place, and it made things easier for me. And truly, I am that kind of a practical person, and it made me happy to know that God is not some distant deity. He wants to be part of our lives only as we allow Him, and He does not want to own a certain aspect of our lives. He wants to be for us in every way. So now the change was evident. in all aspects of my life, in my diet, in the places I went to, the people that I was spending my time with, and of course my dress. And the natural thing is that you model yourself after the people who have presented to you this truth or this new light, if you may. So that it wasn't different with me as well. I embraced or modeled modesty as I saw it, and in doing it, while I'm doing it, I much as I understood the principles of modesty according to how I saw it, I kind of tried to find my space in it, because what I had seen did not really best represent me. It did not best represent my style or how I would like to look. And now the good thing about it, and this is what I appreciate about God, that much as we are given principles, we are allowed to be ourselves within the perimeters of truth, of the principle that God gives us. And for me, that is amazing, because it makes me understand, or it emphasizes the fact that God is a God of diversity. God created us deliberately as individuals, as different personalities, and God does not want us to lose that. And I found myself to be losing myself in that, and that caused a discomfort. It brought about a discomfort in me, that while I understand and embrace this principle, but where am I? Who am I here? I was not comfortable with how I presented myself, and this discomfort grew to a point where I felt it's a conversation I need to have with God, because this did not really affect my relationship with God, in that it was a point where I, like anything else that bothers me, like anything else that is of a concern, it was something that I felt comfortable to carry to God, to tell him that, because and I remember having these conversations, and I get excited because I'm truly excited by how God came through, how God responded. It emphasized all the more how much God cares about the things that bother us, however little they may seem to some, but God cares. So I remember saying, because there must be a way, because I want to do this. I understand that I need, it's important for me that I do it, but how do I do it? Everyone? And maybe here I want to pause and just share a thought, that when we in our Christian walk, or rather when we accept Christ as our personal savior, and we take on a journey with him, we expect that things will be easy. It should be, because guess what, you are with God and things should be okay. And the surprising thing is that it is not a walk in the park. It has difficult moments and difficult times where, and it's at this point where some of us miss it, where we think that when we start to question things, like when we have certain discomforts on certain areas of our lives, that we are doubting God, or our relationship with God is now not there. And we are allowed to have that. We are allowed. That is why God says, come, let us visit. God is a God that wants us to share our thoughts, those thoughts of discomfort that we have. So, but I think we a lot of times we make the mistake of allowing the frustration to drive us away from God, instead of it driving us to God. And I want to thank God that in my discomfort, in my frustrations, I actually was encouraged all the more to speak to God about it, to inquire about it. And I would encourage us that when we arrive, because we are certain to arrive at these points in our Christian walk, that we are not driven, that these things, these doubts, these discomforts, they don't drive us away from God, but they encourage us rather to go to God. So the way He answers me, the way He comes through, that is what blew my mind. It was, if I tell you, it was the very next day when I think I was going through Facebook or something, and I see a picture of stylish women who were stylish, yet they were dressed modestly. And I remember saying to myself, it is. This is how I want to look. I remember that that week was amazing to me. It was a conversation I had with my husband, his response to this whole thing. And after that, it was that picture that I saw on social media. And after that, I was at a mall, and for some or other reason, divine reason, all my eyes could see were stylish, modestly dressed women, or statues, or looks that were displayed in different shops, my favorite shops. And I remember thinking, wow, it was so amazing that I did not think it to be. I immediately rather praised God, because I was certain that God, it is you. You are answering my question. You, and I was so liberated. I was elated. I was happy. The joy that filled my heart, more than the fact that now I could see this thing happening. But I was actually in awe of God, and in awe that truly, man, that if we come to Him, if we ask Him, we are pendula. And maybe for some this might be a minor, but for me, there was another point in my life where I felt, you know what, God is faithful, and God really cares. And my conviction was even sure. My decision was even sure. Like I was in it, and I was now sure that, you know what, this is doable, and in fact I can do it, and in fact I want to do it. I want to embrace modesty. In fact, what it said is that I have a space in it. I can do it in a way that speaks to me. I can embrace it. And in fact, wait up, there's something I'm forgetting. I remember the words. They were either in my head or wherever. God saying, who said that was the only way of doing it? Because like that spoke directly to me, because much as what was being modeled to me was within principles. It was good, and God actually was saying to me that it's a preference. That other woman likes to do it like that, but I did not say that was the only way of doing it. This is how you can do it, and I know you. God knows me. God knows how I want to look, and what I saw on those pictures and those displays in the mall were what spoke to me. But how God would want it done within the principle. Like, I get emotional when I think about this, because really I thank God. I am still in awe of how faithful God is, and God spoke to me like that. So yeah, I was now certain that, you know what, this is doable. And there I thought of there could be many women who have found themselves there, who have found themselves at a point where of being discouraged, of doubting, of some may have even thought, you know what, why bother? Let me go back to how I used to look, and because I used to feel good about it. That's also fine. But the message I'm bringing across now is that I wish that our frustrations could drive us to God, because God cares. God knows us. God knows us best. Dinglalinda uthandayo bamhle, uthandayo stand out, uthandayo thini, and he's dealt with it. He's dealt with. My husband puts it so nicely. He says it's almost as if he took it and he refined it and he gave it back to you. And that's exactly what happened. He gave it to me in a way that speaks to me, and it's in a way that appeals to him as well. So that is where I am with modesty. It is a subject that is close to my heart. It is something that I embrace, and now I am happy to be doing it in a way that I feel comfortable. You know, in my Christian walk, another thing, and perhaps this would be a topic for another day, I have a mantra or a motto that I live by, that I want to be a loving and a lovable Christian. Nothing bothers me more than someone than bitter, I call them bitter Christians, than mean Christians, then I think it's oxymorons, if you may, because it's almost as if they can't be together. But sadly, we do find that some of us have portrayed this in a very what's the word? In an unattractive way, that has repelled many, that has made many think that it is not good to be a Christian. So I was still saying I'm always bothered by us carrying these truths, living our Christian lives, yet it is not something that we are happy about. We are offended when we see someone doing things different from us. Now, what made me happy is that I got to a point where I am comfortable in my lifestyle, and I'm not truly bothered by people not embracing modesty. I was happy about it, And that is why I'm happy speaking about it. I'm happy, I'm actually embracing it. So the excitement was too great. I couldn't contain it. Another thing that happened that week, I remember walking into our building, walking to work, and there's a makoti that I work with, a newborn, and she stops me as I walk. She was coming out of the building, and she stops me and she says to me, "Hey Sisi, I never broke away." And then I'm like, it depends, because the truth is I do, but I'll elaborate that on another video. So I'm like, it depends. I'm sure, yeah, you could say. I said to her, you could say. And then she says, "Yo, but Sisi, and now this happens in the same week of God showing me things, and I'm like, wow. And now on my way, I'm like, God, and every time something happens, I'm conscious of the fact that it can only be God. It can only be God. Now, yeah, I'll perhaps share more details on these on this response, on all these responses that God gave me that week. But yeah, so that was what's happening, and I am now certain. Together with that, a thought comes to mind. Yes, God puts a thought, because another thing that I do, I sell clothes. I sell secondhand clothes. So this one day I am busy steam ironing the stuff, because I was gonna hang and display them for sale. Just as I am ironing, God says to me, okay, I'm ironing, and I'm thinking in my mind is, if this skirt could go with this and that, I am seeing a look up. And immediately, together with that thought, God says, yeah, you can do this, like, hey guys. And that says, I'm thinking that, because now I'm remembering the conversation with Margot, and Margot was not the only person I had a conversation with around dress. And an idea gets into my head, but I could actually speak about this. I'm sure there are more people who may have perhaps gone through the same challenge that I've gone through. People who are in this embracing modesty, but they struggle. What do I wear to work today? I'm going out on a date with girlfriends. What do I wear? It's a team building day at work. What do I wear? And I'm showing you guys these ideas, because those are some of the things I went through, right? And I thought to myself, I could actually speak about this, or open a platform where we actually speak about the challenges that we come across, advise each other on how to dress. And YouTube is happening. Everyone is on YouTube. Everyone is doing YouTube, and people are talking about things that they love. And God says, why not? Why don't you start a channel where you share about your experience, where you give ideas and share ideas with people on looks, creating looks, where you create a community of women who embrace modesty, and we speak about it. And that is how the idea of the channel came about. I know that many people are starting channels. I know people are called influencers, wannabe, but the truth is, some of us are just here because God placed something in our hearts that we can share with other people. And for me, it's this, God said, do it. Why not? Something you love, why don't you share? And you've experienced it, you continue, you're learning, and I'm with you. And truly, I'm doing this as a response to that call. I love talking, I love dressing up, I'm embracing modesty, and that is how Linda on Modesty came about. I want you guys to journey with me in this. I want to open this platform to everyone. We speak openly about modesty, the challenges, the good experiences, and we encourage each other in this walk. And like I've said in the beginning, we should understand that modesty should not be experienced as a limiting a limiting factor to style. It should not be seen in a negative way. It should not be dull. We can do this, and we can do it in a sophisticated way, like I always say, in a classy way. And I'm sure there are more stories that you guys have. Please share your stories on the comments below. Comment, give me ideas, and let's journey together. Let us enjoy this journey, and let us embrace modesty in the best way possible. So I want to remind you guys again to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care and God bless. The next video will be a video on a look creation. We'll be creating a look. I'll give it a title. I won't share the title now, but be on the lookout for that one. We will be creating a look.
Embrace